This is Culture Crime Fighters. We are a Culture Crimes Task Force so powerful, so far-reaching, not even the most dastardly of villains can escape. Our goal is to identify and defeat all culture criminals wherever they lurk and destroy them. For too long have these cretins carried out their nefarious deeds, and we will sit for it no longer. Beware. You may commit your culture crimes, but if you do, justice will be served at the hands of the Culture Crime Fighters.
What are you?
I'm Vigilante, Williamson.
You went full.
SJW.
Never go full.
SJW.
You don't buy that? Yeah.
President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy.
You guys are nuts. That's one of my pet peeves, and here you come along with a third pronunciation. Like, what are you doing? Actually, it's pronounced
Stupid bitch.
If you could just be like 25% less brave, that would be great. People were like, there's no way he fucked her. This pig, he didn't fuck this pig.
I think he probably did. I think he didn't give a fuck. Allegedly.
That's just your opinion. It's in England, they say
Audible cunt.
And in America, we say Amber Heard. And that's where the confusion is.
See, I was going with the British way.
Turns out it's a little more nuanced than that.
And I mean, hey, we're in 2021. Any moderately attractive girl can do squats for a few months and put a camera up her ass and become and go viral. So
I don't know. I mean, I'll keep my mind open. I spent all day yesterday on that video. I edited, I cut, I put sound effects and visuals. I'm tap dancing, I'm spinning plates. Although for the life of me, I can't grow it. It's got like 45 fucking views.
You know what I think it is now? Tease the algorithmic guys. Brightest Day is in the chat. His channel is growing because of those shorts. Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it is.
Man, this has been a fun ride. I thank everybody for being here the whole time. I mean, there's regulars, obviously. Snow the Poopist, the Islington Girl, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, Just Another Red Shirt. He's not just another red shirt. He's the red shirt. The crew. I love you all, man.
You guys are the shit. Love you all. Man of War 665, Lord Thoth, Just Another Red Shirt, Darius Munchausen, 24/7 Fusion Media, Ascension Dildo, Mark D with a C, Snorter Poopus, Android Scanner, the Islington Girl, New Bomb Turk. Everybody, you guys are great. We'll see you all next time. Have a great night.
Peace.
Yeah, peace. I love peace.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. We are waiting on one Vigilante Williamson. He will be here. My good buddy Vig is he's running a little late. Had some work stuff he had to finish. He'll be here though. You can count on that. Count on Vigilante. Although I do have some sad news, guys. Unfortunately, I won't be doing this show with Vig anymore, or the Cocktail Lounge really at all, or anything other than my stuff, because I made it. I don't know if you guys know this, but I did. I made it. It's official. I am anointed. Yesterday, I was on a stream with the Critical Drinker. So here I am, guys. I'm a big star, and I have no time for anyone smaller. I'm right at the top now, up there with the big YouTubers. Robert's asked if I made it gay. No, I made it as a celebrity. I am now a bona fide celebrity. You can, thank you. I mean, it was mostly my doing anyway, but I appreciate your guys' support along the way to me becoming a big deal, a big old deal. No, I got to fucking stream with Critical Drinker yesterday for like 15, 20 minutes. It was nuts because it was Tom's birthday yesterday. And so they had a little birthday stream that Latino Slant invited me into. And I get in the room and there's Critical Drinker. And I was like, holy shit, he's here. Oh my God, like this wave of anxiety just like washed over me. And I tried to pretend like I wasn't incredibly anxious and nervous, but I was. Oh my God. It's like, that's the guy. He was the guy who got me into all this stuff. He was my gateway into YouTubing and fandom. And there he is. And like, I can talk to him. Like, that's too much power. I'm not ready for that. I can't handle that much access. I don't think that they posted that stream. So if you didn't see it live, I don't think you can see it, but it did happen. The wake down was there. He knows. And I think I got a laugh or two at a critical drinker. They might've been pity laughs, like sometimes you do to make sure it's not awkward or uncomfortable when someone tries to be funny or charming. So they might've been, but I heard the noise. So I'm counting it. I'm chalking it up. I made the critical drinker laugh more than once. Sentient Dildo says, Matt is a fangirl. You're goddamn right I am. I'll fangirl out for critical drinker. He's the man. He is the man. No, that was a pretty cool thing. And I was happy to do that for Tom. Tom is a real gentleman, a man's man. And he's been on this channel many times. You can catch him on the Cocktail Lounge very often. He's here a lot. And he is a good shit. And he just hangs. And I was very happy, honored to go to that stream and show my love for such an influential YouTuber as Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark. So that was cool. That was wild. How you guys doing? This Culture Crime Fighters. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Hope that you guys are doing all right. Let's see who's here. The Wake Down's here. Hey, buddy. Oh, that's Snorted Poopus. Hello, Snorted Poopus. Sentient Dildo is here. Great. That's terrific stuff. Very, it's good. That is, yay. Thank you for the support. That's good to see you, buddy. Darius Munchausen, hail. How are you, sir? How are you? Yes, Darius Munchausen, good point. I think it got made private because everybody accidentally doxed themselves on Zoom. That's true. I think someone talks, Jeff talks or something. I didn't know him, but apparently he's a pretty big YouTuber. Had his phone number on the screen. And not only was it on the screen, when he was trying to fix it, it just isolated. And it was just his number was just on the screen. I was like, you could edit all this stuff out, though. You can do that all in the YouTube window. And I mean, come on. I want there to be a record that I was on the screen at the same time as Critical Drinker, man. Oh, geez. APM, hey buddy, good to see you, APM. He says hair's looking cool, man. Oh, thanks. I mean, I was telling the guys the other day that I was buzzing my hair and then the buzzer broke. I'm stuck with this look now. Nothing I can do. Just got to get a new buzzer. So we'll see how it goes. No, it's actually I did it myself. It's a little uneven. You can kind of see it goes back in the back. I don't even know. I had to film it with my phone and then look at it and then try to with the buzzer. I don't have any friends. No one can help me out with that. So, so thank you for the compliment, my friend. Hello, Keely Chow. Good to see you. Lovely to see you, Keely Chow. Hail. Oh, God, just keeps flicking. Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. Hail. Hello to you. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Matt 317. Hail. What's going on? Robert Moobley. Hello, Robert Moobley. I love that name. That's funny. Wake Down's calling me a simp or someone a simp. Simp. I love that term. It's so funny. Ascension Dildo sell out. Yeah, no, look, I'm big time now. Okay. It's not selling out if you make it. I hope I caught everybody else. Oh, they're pro life form. Hey, buddy. Hello. Yeah, so thank you guys all for being here. It's the Culture Crime Fighters. I love doing this show. Vigilante will be here shortly, as I said. Kind of funny. I got a comment last night on a video on a stream I did 9-10 months ago. Actually, my 1 year stream, 1 year YouTube anniversary is coming up end of the month. So probably do something for that. But I got a comment on it and it was the first season of Expanse coverage. And the guy was just hey, really good stuff, interesting take. I was like, oh, thanks. It was one of the only it might have been the only comment on the entire video. And I was like, let me see how I was doing 9 months ago. Let me go check out this video. I kind of want to see it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, first of all, I'm a lot of uhs and stopping and going. I like to believe I improved from that because I was like, oh, I'd have turned me off. But that one thing I said, I was asking everyone to like and subscribe. And I was like, I got them 12, count them, 12 subscribers. So by the end of the night, let's make it 13. And I was like, oh my God, 12. It's like, Jesus Christ. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching and contributing You guys are an amazing, amazing group of people, and I'm very lucky to have each and every one of you and know all of you. It's like 12. And I was jazzed about that 12, man. I was, because I was on like 5 or 6 for so long. And I got 12. And I was like, these numbers are moving, man. The people are watching. They're watching the content. That's good. This is good. Hey, Anthroparian. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for your comments on the Army of the Dead review that I put out this morning. Really appreciate that, guys. Got a lot of really nice feedback from that. So thank you everyone who said nice things and liked and watched. I really appreciate it. I think that was the most fun I've ever had making a video. I was laughing. I was just laughing the whole time. And there was so many things that as I was doing the video, like I was like, oh, and that's even dumber. That makes even less sense. And I wanted to add in. I'm like, no, just keep with the original recording and just don't. I'll be working on this for the next year if I just keep trying to cover everything. I'll be Mauler. But thank you so much, because I had a blast. I'm gonna definitely do more of those because that was just too much fun. It was too much. He made it so easy. The dumb decisions this man made, is mind-numbing, utterly mind-numbing. Yeah, Anthroparian. So yeah, you have improved. Thank you very much. I hope so. I hope that in a year I made some progress. No one starts off running. Gotta walk first. Senshin Dildo says, thanks, Matt. If only we felt the same about you. Yeah, I know. You had to do something. You got to put on something in the background. This guy. All right. This guy. Yeah. So don't want to get into any stories without my partner in crime fighting here. Kind of want to, yeah, it's kind of, I'm kind of like, now I'm like, holding pattern until Mr. Vigilante Williamson shows up. Gonna batting in the comics, see if there's, oh, well, we can do this. Can read a super chat. Thank you so much. Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. My first super chatter ever. Met you in Vegas with your lovely new bride. Good to see you, sir. And thank you so much. He goes, what the fuck? Got yourself a new lay with the drinker? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Hey, listen, I'd quit it all to be his fucking secretary. Just move to Scotland and just do whatever he asks. Nah, I'm just kidding. But that was a real treat. That was a real pleasure. Critical goddamn drinker, man. And he always seems so humble on streams. He always seems like such a mellow, balanced kind of guy. I love him. Big fan. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. APM. Foulball Productions. Excellent review. Saved me a lot of time. Gone off Snyder entirely. Yeah, I think so. Because I really relished like making fun of that movie because I kind of got sucked in by the Snyder cut hype and was really excited that he was going to do the Geeks and Gamers thing, right? And he was going to do that charity stream with Uche, and like Canal announced it, and it was like this big thing. And I was like, that is amazing. Like that is really showing some progress as far as like respect for the fans and Hollywood kind of becoming less of a megalith and a little bit more in touch with the people that they make content for. And then you guys all know how it went down. And I just got so enraged and lost so much respect for that guy. And then I watched the Snyder cut, which I'm not going to walk it back. At the time, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could watch it again, but I did enjoy it. But then after I watched Mauler's critique, I was like, God damn, man. This guy just dismantled this dude's life. Like he just took apart every single writing decision, creative decision that he made, and then also highlighted how Snyder would put up these advertising smoke screens, a lot of bait, a lot of fan bait to try to generate interest in his projects, but without any substance behind them, without any kind of like real honor, and just horseshit, just complete horseshit, marketing, smokescreen nonsense. And I was like, this fucking guy, man, this fucking guy. So I had a bunch of Snyder stands, not a bunch, but a few like Snyder stands, like go on my trailer reaction for the Army of the Dead trailer, and they're like, "What are you fucking like?" Like all like miserable and like shitty, kind of like comment bombing. And I was like, these Snyder Cut fans are so weird. These Snyder fans are so bizarre. So I was like, all right, let's really check out this Army of the Dead. And I had no intention on reviewing it. I wasn't going to review it, but I'm watching it and I'm screaming at the screen at how stupid it is. Like I'm yelling these things that I put in the video. I'm just yelling them out loud because it's like, it's so absurd and implausible. And what are you doing? So then I was like, I just have to start recording this. So I just like put on my phone and just recorded all that stuff. And then slapped it all together for a video. But oh my God, it was a joy. It was a joy picking it apart. And it felt so correct. It felt so righteous and appropriate to just kind of pick apart this guy who, attacked a really decent community, doing a good thing, doing a selfless, positive thing, raising money for a charity that he is particularly connected to, insults the fans and then also kind of like misleads the audience and does sort of unscrupulous marketing things. It's like, yeah, no, this is a great target to take out. This guy, he had it coming. And it was fun. It was real fun. I had a blast doing that shit. So I appreciate you guys supporting that endeavor because I had so much fun doing it. And I'm going to do it again. I got some super stickers coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I got a $1.99 super sticker for Lifeform. Thank you, buddy. Reporter Lifeform's got a channel. Yes, he does. Go check him out. And it says coming soon. Coming soon. Such a dildo. You're such a fucking prick. You're such a prick. Maccabee Drinker's Cup Girl. And I would, Drinker, if you're watching, I would definitely be your cup girl. I don't even know what that is, but I would do it for you, buddy. That's how much I respect your YouTube career. It's remarkable. And then Darius Munchausen said a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much, my friend. Very grateful for that. And it's popcorn. Delicious, delicious popcorn. What goes better with a movie? Am I right, guys? Am I right? Ascension dildo. You don't get it, man. You don't get it. Yeah, that's what the Snyder fans think. Maybe I was watching this thing where it was the guy from Pitch Meeting. I always forget his name, like Chris George or something like that. I really like his videos. I think he does good stuff. But he was saying he's done this a few times with certain media, like certain movies or TV shows where I guess the creators do this thing. Somehow they prey on the audience's ego and they make them feel smart. I don't know how you do that in the media, but they do that. And sometimes I think that can create a real toxic fan base. Like at least that's what this guy's theory was. Cause then it's like, then they protect this thing because it's almost like they get a sense of pride associated with the show, right? Like, this show makes me feel good about myself. So if you're attacking it, you're attacking me. And I wonder if there's like a little bit of that with the Snyder stands, like why they're so just in love with this guy who, pretty much makes some mediocre products. Pretty stupid stuff. Like, yeah, it's visually cool. And I said that in my review. I pointed out he does visually cool stuff. I'm not going to lie. It's not visually cool, but it's, strapped together with duct tape and string. It's their most inelegant, clunky, terribly written, piles of garbage. And he just gets this praise like he's this unsung hero, this genius that doesn't get the respect he deserves. It's like, where does that come from? Where do these guys get like all this passion for this very mediocre director? And I wonder if it's that kind of thing. I wonder if he like throws stuff in there that kind of makes them feel like, oh, we're in this together. I don't know. I don't know where they get that, but I am happy to take aim and blow his shit out of the sky because it was fucking fun and so deserved. And all those Snyder fans can suck it. They can suck it. Sentient Dildo says, I'm a hipster though. Me? I'm not a hipster, my friend. I'm a punk rocker and I have been my whole life. And so are you. Hipster. No, man. Hipsters' tastes are vanity. You know, hipsters like they like the things that make them look a certain way, that make them look cool or make them seem smart. You know, that's what a hipster likes. A punk likes the things that are like righteous, that cut through the bullshit harsh. You know what I mean? Bam, punk rock. That's the difference. That's the difference, man. It's what bam. And you guys are in for a treat. Get ready for this. Just get excited because the man himself has arrived.
Yeah, Vigilante Williamson. Sorry. Work. This is my last week in my current job, and I'm paying for it. But yeah, Vigilante Williamson here on another. What is it? The 15th. We made it 15 episodes. Woo! Holy shit! 15th episode of the Culture Crime Fighters. I'm a little late, but I did make it.
A little late, but you've arrived, and that's all that matters, my good man.
Yeah,
and I got a pretty healthy chat going on.
Cool.
Thank you guys for being here. Some new faces. Jay Banks, what up, bro? Hell.
Jay Banks.
Eric K is in the chat. What's up, my friend? Eric K, the mighty wrench. Hello, brother. Hello,
real wrench king.
And Captain Hipster Spock. That's great.
Hey,
that's
appreciate Hipster Spock.
But that's isn't this? Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, right on. Well, how's it going, brother?
It's going. Been pretty busy. And again, I apologize for being late, everybody. I really hate disappointing you guys. This is like one of my highlights of the week, so it's like sucks. But I'm doing good. Go ahead.
Cool. No, I was just reading in the chat that Darius Munchausen said, I don't think Matt liked my joke. I don't know what joke you're talking about. I don't see anything. I don't see any jokes coming up in the chat. I just want to let you know. Oh, Captain Hipster Spock. I get it. We have to stop watching Foulball Productions now that he's mainstream. Yeah. I told them that I made it. Yeah.
You did make it.
I made it.
You were on Tom's birthday stream. You were streaming with the drinker and a bunch of other people. You were doing big things, man.
So I gotta leave all this small time stuff behind. You know what I mean? Gotta grow.
Yeah.
Gotta evolve. Pretty butterfly
talk to
now.
Your agent and shit just to get on. It was crazy.
Exactly. Now there's all these barriers between me. I got Hollywood real fast. Yeah, man. Well, yeah. Oh, Zach 7, Savage Army of the Dead review. Thank you very much, my friend. Thanks.
It was pretty good. Pretty
fun. That was a fun time doing that video. Fun ass time.
Yeah.
How you doing? I see you're playing Tetris at night. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I just like I said, the YouTube algorithmic god somehow brought classic Tetris championship, like this competitive Tetris to my life. And now I've been playing that. And Brightest Day is right. My channel growth is going to completely stall because there's no one on earth who's going to grow. Like, that's not going to build anybody else. And no one's coming for the Tetris. But it's just been a fun thing to do at night. Like, oh, I might as well stream.
I like that. That's cool. I've been meaning to pick up my I have cat hair like all over my face. It's so enraging. I've been meaning to pick up my Castlevania episode streams, but I've been so busy, and I haven't done 2 weeks. I haven't done MF for Mondays because I've been like now having like a full-time job. And then like being a full-time streamer is kind of a lot. So I've had to make some sacrifices, but I do want to get back to doing those little pickup streams, little half hour, 45 minutes, just a little fun, no big deal. I mean, I mean to get back into that, but yeah, I mean, this is Culture Crime Fighter. So should we fight some culture crime?
First I got Anthroparion saying cat hair equals pussy pubes.
Pussy pubes. Yeah, I wish that was the case, but it's not. It's just white, fluffy cat hair. And I brushed him before, and now it's like I didn't realize I'm covered in it. And it's just like it's all on my face. I'm just trying to not, like while I'm talking, I'm trying to get it out of my eye. It's so annoying. Fucking cats. Yeah, all right. So should we I mean, actually, I think right now I think I'd like to first praise an award and commend a culture hero.
Yeah. Let's start with that.
All right. I'm going to use this article I don't know. I was just about to give a disclaimer. You know what? I don't care what you guys think, what source of media I use. I was about to be like, just so you know, guys, I'm not a conservative. I don't care. I don't care. Think whatever you want.
Not associated with CERT as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned. So Chris Pratt, dude, fucking based ass Chris Pratt doesn't give a shit and goes out there and says, now the one thing I imagine they're going to explore this in the article, but what I keep the post I kept hearing from like different videos and different articles was a very heartfelt, sincere, based, but not like what this this headline is suggesting. Bitch and moan about America. I don't know. I didn't see that anywhere.
Yeah. Huh.
Let's see what the article says.
Yeah. Let's read the article. And I mean, to be fair, Daily Wire, obviously, you were about to do your conservative disclaimer. They do have a more hardcore conservative slant. So,
yeah, to the point where it gets utterly exhausting. I mean, it's like I can listen to Shapiro on Rogan, and I think that's about it.
Yeah. I'm similar.
Right, Ben. Jesus. All right. Actor Chris Pratt honored fallen military men and women on Memorial Day with a moving Instagram post that captioned photos of family members and fellow service members grieving those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. Pratt accompanied the photos with a lengthy caption telling followers to please show support for our fallen and ask people not to bitch and moan about America in the comments section.
Okay.
Adding, never forget your right to free expression is paid in blood. What do you think about that, my friend?
I think it's interesting. It's interesting. I do like it. I mean, because it's become like I'm not a diehard like get the flag tattooed across my face patriot type guy, but we are. This is our country. You know what I mean? And it's gotten the concept of just being critical of things about America has gotten way into the spectrum of being like if you like America, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I appreciate somebody finally just saying, hey, that comment of your right to free expression is paid for in blood. It's like, yeah, it kind of is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It very much is. As much as we talk about the freedom of speeches, freedom of speech relative to YouTube and all these different things, no one's going to kick in our door and like kidnap us for anything we say. And that happens in one major country that shall be unnamed.
Happens in a lot of countries.
It happens in a lot of countries. Yeah, you're right.
It happened recently in like Europe, right? Like Eastern Europe. Was that Belarus or whatever? Where that journalist where they grounded that plane and like imprisoned that guy who was a journalist. Like, yeah, it was a pretty big.
Hear that. I vaguely heard it, but I didn't look into it.
I mean, yeah, obviously neither did I. My details are pretty fuzzy. I feel like Ascension would know. But it was it happens all the time. What was that, like last year or 2 years ago? There was that Saudi journalist who got tortured to death.
Yep. Yeah, he got his head chopped off.
Yeah.
And ironically, WWE went right afterwards and almost didn't make it back.
Yeah. Yeah. You were telling me about these. You had a buddy there or something like that? Oh no, was that you or that was I think
Jed,
right?
had a buddy. Jed had a buddy. Yeah, Jed had a buddy.
But Central Dillo says, yeah, Belarus is a dictatorship. Yeah, I mean, look, say what you will about the 20th century and America's involvement in all these different, little what do they call those little wars? Those little they have a name for that. But anyway,
proxy wars.
Yeah, proxy wars, exactly. If you look at Western Europe and the countries that were taken over by communism, under communist rule, there was hell.
Yeah.
A lot of countries have made their way back out of it, who they're having a good, some of them are having a renaissance, but that could have been, who knows, all of Europe, you know what I mean? Or even no matter like what, it's just the fact if you're under that kind of a dictatorship, yet you can't criticize the government. You can't say things against the collective. You will face, all kinds of repercussions. And in this country, there's definitely contingents and people that want to silence free speech, but we do have it. It's still constitutionally protected.
Yeah, it is. And we still have the ability to use it, like no matter what. And now I'm thinking back to that one MF we had where Ace was arguing. Now I'm about to kind of argue parts of his point. Where it's like, hey, you still have the right to say whatever you need to say. Even with the internet censorship, there are ways around it. Now, where you get a voice, are these companies actually they're independent companies, and there's other arguments to be made. But that core of you can still speak, the other freedoms. You know what I mean? We didn't have to get drafted into an army before we started our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like yes, they have a draft, or they this country has had drafts. And I do agree with it. Sorry, I was rambling, but Snort the Poopus' comment is very true.
No, it's all good. No, I was just highlighting the comment because it was just a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point. But there's a lot of things like we don't have, and maybe we should have like a required military service. We don't have a lot of things that allow for freedom, allow for an 18-year-old to be a streamer instead of having to like get a gun and learn about, go out.
I mean, just imagine if Trump really was the fascist dictator that they all said that he was. Like, how many people he would have had murdered because of the unbelievable amount of criticism and
absolutely
unflattering depictions. And even what was that? Kathy Griffin with like the decapitated head and effigy.
Yeah, that was creepy as shit.
Oh yeah, that was nuts. That was so deranged. But she did it, and the Secret Service came and saw her, but like she didn't go to jail. No. She didn't get disappeared. A billionaire in John Cena's favorite country was just disappeared. He just disappeared for months when he started criticizing the government too loudly.
What happened to that guy?
I think he came back, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe that's him.
I thought he came back with like a few more bruises and a much better attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
Jack something. Is it Jack Ma? Is that the guy?
Jack Ma. It says BBC says he disappeared for 3 months, so I think he came back. Yeah, first public appearance in months. So yeah, he did eventually. They did eventually let him come back, but yeah, I'm sure he had to say a lot of the right things. I know, right?
A billionaire in China can disappear and torture for 3 months if he talks off. And we can just talk shit in the comments and whatever, and we really do take that shit for granted.
We really do. And the people who do it the most are the ones who want to change all these things, and they do. And they basically, I mean, as annoying as they are, and as misguided I feel as they're essentially doing it through speech for the most part. There's BLM protests and Antifa stuff, but they do it all through speech on Twitter. Yeah. And if that right was taken away from them, you know what I mean? Like then they couldn't enact their, change, which I guess when you look at it like from that angle, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we should get rid of it. But no, they should value it as much as anybody.
They absolutely should. And what they don't realize is if they're successful, they lose it. Like they won't have the right to criticize like they've been able to criticize a president for 4 years. You don't get that right in a totalitarian regime. You're not going to be able to criticize the president whether or not you like him.
You couldn't even criticize the regime. You couldn't even criticize the government. Not even using that person's name. You couldn't get away with that.
No. I
mean, Che Guevara started like just executing dissenters in Cuba. Like,
but he's a legend, don't you know? Put his face in your shirt, so you're revolutionary.
Yeah, show how compassionate you are.
show how much you're against LGBTQ bashing, and you're pro them.
Yeah. Wear your Che shirt for Pride Month.
For Pride Month, your pride color. I know they exist. I know there's pride colored Che shirts.
I bet there is. That's awesome. That would be really funny. That would fuck with people's heads.
Well, I saw fucking what the hell was it? I can't remember whose video. It could have been Jay Longbone, could have been like Mr. Obvious. Some video I saw where they had like this gay Muslim transgender, and I'm like, you don't know what you're doing, do you? And
you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And Robert Mobley says leave Che out of this. I'm not trying to get whacked.
There are Che Guevara LGBT Pride Unity t-shirts on Amazon.
Yeah, I knew they existed. I knew they existed. I knew what I know. It's like I know they exist.
Oh, that rules. That with the depth of that irony.
Yeah.
That's terrific stuff. Terrific stuff. Well, yeah. So as far as the Chris Pratt thing, I think it's a punk rock move to say this and put this out there because I've never heard anyone who's on like the regressive left, like that whole whatever that Hollywood left
champagne liberals.
Yeah, the Mercedes Marxists. Like no one would ever say anything like this. So no matter where he lands politically, the fact that he would just go against the group is I think really badass. And then like for like a kind of a righteous cause, like that's dope.
It's dope. And again, it's dope to whatever you feel about the country, whatever you feel about how a lot of the military have been used throughout the years, it's dope to support the veterans and support the people who do serve our country. So they do serve our country. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can get into all the different, and it is a complex conversation, and the military has definitely been used as, like the mafia for sure. I mean, there's lots of different, the confessions of an economic hitman and lots of stuff that like I have big issues with, but I don't have big issues with like our actions in World War II and a lot of the things that, have maintained this country's freedom, even going far back. I mean, the Civil War, fucking Revolutionary War, like it's a very important thing to remember that, this is, love it or hate it, that we are propped up by our military. That's what keeps us safe and keeps this country going. All, mistakes aside, if we didn't have it, we don't have the country.
Yeah, even to this day, I don't know if I've talked about it, but my brother, he was in the Navy for he served, he's out, and where he was stationed was in like Asia, Southeast Asia, and I'm like, it took me to like last year to realize, oh, like, dude, you on that boat literally did protect our freedom because you were there in case China popped off. Like that's why you were on that boat, and that boat was there, and there were other boats there in that area just in case. And apparently, little stuff, not skirmishes, but little dick waving contests happen all the damn time. So like I'm like, wow, I didn't really connect. Like there's a reason you're there, and it does actually impact our freedom, because if you weren't, maybe they would be a little bit more bully happy over there. They already, did what they did in Hong Kong and etc. But like, still just you don't really think about it because you just take it for granted, and it should not be taken for granted.
And that's the thing I think is the point here. And like, that's what those holidays really are supposed to do, is to take a moment to genuinely reflect on the significance of the contributions and the fact that, people didn't come back from whether they, whether the conflict was valid or your imperialism, blah, blah, blah. They went in service of the country and they didn't come back. And I don't care. That's, to me, that's worth remembering. That's worth respecting. And you day to day, you don't think about it, but that's why these holidays exist. That's why that's why they're here, so that you can take the moment to think about it, to reflect on it.
Yeah. It's not just a long weekend. It's something to actually memorialize.
Yeah. And I like Godzillionaire's chat here. Veterans that gave the ultimate sacrifice, you guys get a day. Belong to the alphabet community, you got a whole month.
Basically. Yeah. Pride Month.
And the alphabet community now includes like white girls who make out with chicks in bars. That's not like a marginalized group.
Yes, they are.
I guess
they're marginalized by the toxic masculinity of the patriarchy.
yeah, all those toxic patriarchal men who hate watching two girls make out.
Yeah.
And want it stopped. They can't handle these 23-year-old girls making out in bars. What is the country coming to? Yeah, I always hear that. All right, I don't see if there's anything more in this article worth reading. America's exceptional armed forces have altered the course of the world for the better. From the Union Army defeating slave-owning Confederates to the Greatest Generation and her allies vanquishing the Yazis and our special operators hunting down the perpetrators of 9/11. Good fucking point. Yeah. I mean, assuming all that was on the up and up, which who knows anymore. But he continued, we count the names of each fallen soldier, lest they be countless. They are the good guys. They run to the sound of gunfire. They know pain and suffering. We never will. They have given us the most free and decent society planet Earth has ever seen. We run the risk of losing that decency when we fail to instill gratitude in the minds of our youth, or the perspective of what it actually means to be free, should they never learn of the selfless sacrifice of our armed service members in the face of oppressive evil. So join me in showing the support for our fallen. Take a quiet moment to really consider the sacrifice. That's fucking extraordinarily well put.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And one thing is a shame that to a significant portion of the country, not as significant as is represented, to be fair, but a significant portion of the country, statement like that is wrong, and it can be thought of as a bad thing, or he's a colonizer, or what you say, imperialist, or whatever. And it's like, man, I'm not saying you need to be this diehard patriot, but like, how can you like accept hating the country that you're in? I don't get that.
I think it's a credit to how effective the anti-American propaganda has been, how good it is that they've actually managed to have their own citizens identify like an American flag with like being bad. That's
a symbol of white supremacy.
Like
Captain America's shield has a complicated past now.
That's how good their propaganda has been. That's how effective it is. They managed to turn their own citizens against their own country. It's like, damn, they really did that. They really nailed it. Way to go, whomever. Fucking commies. Like, yeah, like, gotta give credit where credit's due. You sure swindled all these fools.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. But I think like the second you realize that, you're like, oh, that's what this all is. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
almost caught me.
That's honestly been the kind of vindicating part about this community, the fact that all those dots can be connected. Yeah, God bless America. Why not?
God bless America, indeed. Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's right. That was, that's why we've talked about it before. But that is like why people are like, why do you care so much about Star Wars? Why are you just going to go on endlessly debate about it? Because at the end of the day, there is something greater behind it.
Yeah. I mean, what happened in geek culture, and I don't care what anyone says. Maybe I'm paranoid. I know I can see things where I haven't seen. They aren't there sometimes, but it was definitely a microcosm and a testing ground for what they did with massive culture.
100%. It's the front line.
Yeah,
it's the front line in the culture war because it's tearing down what came before it. It's destroying the archetypes. It's destroying the country's sense of its own history and its own identity and its pride in its heroes, and laying waste to them and replacing them with others. It's like you can't, according to their ideology, there is no white male that can be properly praised because he always has privilege. But so many important and very good, impactful figures in this country have been white men, but you get rid of that, and then you get rid of the positive qualities of the country that are worth preserving. It's very effective.
The question I would like to ask anyone with this like super heavy critical theory, it's not just critical race, just critical theory in general. So, okay, you've identified the oppressors. So in 100 years, let's say you did what you wanted to do. You had carte blanche, you crazy commie, and you did what you wanted to do. In 100 years, is that group still the oppressor? And if so, how?
It's because there is no way. You're not going to get a logical answer out of this
because there's no end game.
Right.
It's just, anger for anger's sake.
And power dynamics change depending on where you go. If I go to the ghetto and it's a black ghetto, I have no power. I am not in. I mean, maybe I guess you could argue that
why's it got to be the ghetto? Foulball. No, just joking.
I guess I was just trying to, use a very vivid example of what, a situation where I would stand out, and there is a very strong power dynamic that's not in my favor. Yeah, I mean, I guess the wokies would say, well, no, the cops will still protect you because you're white, but it shifts from situation to situation. And also just because Bezos owns Amazon doesn't mean I have more money. We don't.
Yeah.
We are not a collective. I don't share in the wealth of other white people.
That's been the most fascinating thing. This whole thing is an all tall people wear red scenario. Like, Mike is tall. Mike wears red. All tall people wear red. That is the link. That is the logic between the white privilege. There are rich white men, such as a white man. Therefore, all white men are rich. It's crazy to me.
It's crazy because I think it's kind of like that thing that the representation matters, because it's like, whatever X marginalized community feels validated when they see their X marginalized community represented in media. Well, I think the projection is that white people feel the same way. That when they see, Tom Cruise or Meryl Streep, it's like, yeah, one for the good guys. And it's like, I don't see it that way. I can't speak for all white people, but I generally don't hear most white Americans being like, yeah, one for us. Like, I don't think that's how I don't think it's how most people see it, but that's how it's projected out to the world. So it's like, it can't be that, because then we're getting a win for these white supremacists who are obsessed with seeing themselves in media. And it's like, you're the ones obsessed with it. No, we're not obsessed with it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was looking at the comments. Eric K talking about Mike plays basketball. Mike is the best basketball player. All Mikes are great basketball players. I'm assuming it's a Michael Jordan reference.
Is that an argument? Is that like an argument fallacy?
There's a word for that type of fallacy. I can't think of it. I'm sure someone in the chat will get it. But there's a phrase for that type of fallacy.
Argument fallacies are the best. Like, once you understand, that's like almost all what this propaganda is. It's almost all fallacies. It's like, once you get there, none of this carries any weight.
But the thing is, the people who believe it were indoctrinated and literally re-educated. They went through this whole shitty indoctrination camp we call the public schools, and then they go to these stupid ass colleges and they get into fucking debt, and they get taught this is the right way, this is the right way, this is the right way, and and so now they have to believe whatever the hell they believe. Regardless of how right it is.
And it's really effective. It's something that Carrie Smith from real quick, I got to stop because I just want to acknowledge that I got 2 super stickers from the Islington girl. Thank you so much, the Islington girl. Lovely to see you as always. Female representation.
Yeah.
matters in the chat. She sent me one for $1.99 and one for 99 cents. And the first one says, thanks, with a purple heart. You're welcome for whatever you're thanking me for. You are very welcome. And then an emoji, drooling emoji face going, duh.
Okay.
So thank you so much, the Islington girl. Much appreciated. No, but Carrie Smith from Unsafe Space says what they do really well is appeal to emotion. And when you appeal to emotion, it gets wrapped up in your heart and your feelings. And then if you can also make that personal, like with identity politics, then it becomes wrapped up with your identity. So you won't logically approach these conversations ever again. It'll all just be a personal attack for the rest of your life. So you're like an indoctrinated super soldier for the woke army.
So here's the thing about that. The reason that is not true, funnily, well, not completely true. It would be if not for the woke talking points themselves being inherently discriminatory towards whatever group they're supposed to support. That's why you have black moms saying, hey, you're not going to teach my kid critical race theory. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So otherwise you're that is the plan for it to work. The mechanism why I think it will ultimately fail, at least I hope so, is because of that. Because it's like, okay, people will go, it might be a mom who has a BLM sticker on her minivan, but as soon as she actually hears the talking point as it is and realizes, wait, this is detrimental, I'm not gonna, I have something to say about it.
Well, there's a lot of that going on. Like I was listening to Metzger talk about it. He had the comedian Godfrey on his podcast, and they were talking about
love Godfrey. He's fucking
great.
I
mean, he's funny, but he's pretty woke. And I mean, I'll tell you why. I don't know if he's woke, but I mean, he said some shit where I was like, ugh. He says that thing where he's like, oh yeah, I can't be racist. I wish I could. Like, he believes that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But he had Godfrey on his show, and he was saying, talk about the book White Fragility, and Godfrey's like, great book. And he's like, really? And he's like, let's hear what. And he's like, it immediately became clear he hadn't read it. It's like, I think that happens a lot of times with people who are like woke and like us. I mean, it happens with political, but I'm just going to talk about the left right now. But it's like where they project their most pure ideals onto this whole movement. I think a lot of,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like
They don't even know what's going on.
right. Like they imagine like, themselves and their family members and their friends and good people that they know being helped out and put into a better situation. And that's what they ascribe to things like woke fragility or white fragility, woke fragility, white fragility. That's a good name for a podcast. Woke fragility.
Woke fragility. Yeah.
I like that. Someone could go ahead and steal that. But like, that kind of like, and then that's what they kind of see in that, because it's so internal, it's so personal that they're not really logically listening to the arguments. They're just like, I see a lot of like, whatever badness in my community, and this is what will fix it. But they haven't really thought about it at all. So they're projecting this positivity onto it where it doesn't really belong.
Yeah, thank God I came across Thomas So, because it was only last year somehow that another thanks for the algorithmic guys. And Darius Munchausen described the fallacy I was called. It's called an association fallacy.
Association fallacy.
Because they associate one thing and then they associate another thing that's not directly related because it was associated to something else. So then they get that fallacy. But the reason I'm glad I got Thomas So, because he focuses on results and he focuses on what actually happened. And he focuses on like how do you get, like, he doesn't accept fallacies just on their face value because they sound nice. And he talks about why you can't just do things for sounding nice. And I think the majority of the support that something like Black Lives Matter has is because it's named Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
There's so few people who, like, if you said if you're not against BLM, they're like, huh? Because they have done so little research into it. And all they know is Black Lives Matter is for Black people, therefore it's good. That's it. That's all they know.
And the problem is everything is so fucking collectivist that like people are at odds with their own internal monologues, because logic will start to creep in there, but then it's like they have to like silence it for like the collective good. But the collective good is Black people, Latino people, Asian people, indigenous people, women, LGBT, like they're all in it together. And it's like there's no way all these communities have the exact same values, goals, and needs, but the narrative has been sold so well that it's like, yeah, if a win for them is a win for you. And like, like my buddy, like who I'm not friends with anymore, but he's a Black dude he got really woke when he started dating this girl. Like he was always kind of woke, but boy, he went hard, and it's impossible to hang out with him. He just can't wait to stop being friends. But he would, every once in a while I'd hear him say some sort of like, like anti-feminist shit, because his girlfriend was such a feminist. I'd be like, I knew it was there. There's something there. And he would like shut it down because like she and their ideology has got feminism and Black power in the same conversation. And it's like,
oh, man.
These are conflicting things. They're conflicting goals.
Yeah, feminism fucking destroyed the Black community. It's a matriarchal. Oh God,
it's gonna destroy all communities. It's antithetical to the nature of life. It's not. It'll destroy all communities. It's a cancer.
Absolutely. It is, and it's on its way to destroy every community. The reason I say that is that I bring this up again. You know what? I need to double check the statistic. Lest me be doing the same. Lest I'm doing the same thing. But apparently, there's been 20 some odd million smortions. I don't want to mess your channel up.
Oh, word. Yeah. This statistically, this is a good point, dude.
But I mean, in the Black community, and that accounts for almost 4 out of 10 Black people who've been,
talk about a genocide. They love to say there's a genocide against the Black people from the cops, but
that's eugenics. It's legitimate eugenics. The Planned Parenthood founder was indeed a racist who wanted to use it for eugenics. That's something I know I can verify. As far as the number, that's just a statistic that's been out there. There's 20 some odd millions. There's 30 some odd million Black people alive, and that's where that percentage comes from. So that's an incredible and disturbing number, and it's only going to get higher for the rest of more demographics, which I think it already is.
Hello.
Hail Parrot Head.
Hello.
And that's not to say that, this is something that should be illegal, but it is something that shouldn't be used as a form of birth control, which is being encouraged as. And that's a feminist. Absolutely. That's a feminist thing. That video on TikTok. Oh, I'm the conservatives' worst nightmare. No, you're your womb's worst nightmare, sweetie.
Yeah. I mean, so many of their policies, like you say that, like with the defund the police, it's like the first people who suffer from that are going to be black people in inner city. They're number one. There's the first people that are going to suffer from that. So it's like you think like there's countries like out to get you. It's like you're out to get you. You're your own worst enemy.
And I'm sure. I think you may have even brought it up. Where was it? RH4? Who was it? That probably wasn't him. No, who was it was a comedian. Some guy went into asking people, I want to say Brooklyn or Harlem, black people, did they want to defund the police, and they were all like, hell no.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh man, I can't think. It was I don't know if he's a comedian or somebody
like a PragerU guy or something.
He's a guy who does YouTube videos. I don't know if he's a PragerU guy.
There is that one PragerU guy. I think his name's Mark or something like that. His look is tough to get past because he just looks like the yachtiest, like white guy, like, just all privilege who looks down. He's actually a pretty base, intelligent dude, but like just looking at him, you're like, well, we know what you think.
Yeah.
I personally had to get through it,
Ami Horowitz, that's the guy. Ami Horowitz.
Avi Horowitz. I don't know.
AMI Horowitz.
AMI Horowitz.
HO.
This is all new to me.
WITZ. If you want, we can share. This is from a last year. They were going to a black community. They asked a bunch of latte liberals in New York, do they want to abolish police? They're talking about how racist it is. And then they start asking black people actually in the community. And they were like, oh, no. Some people say, I like this, that, and third, but we need police. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's not really what people want.
No, I mean, that's the whole thing, because if you logically walk it through, you're like, of course we can't do that. Like, it's so easy to defeat with logic, but the problem is they're not having a logical conversation. It's like that whole thing. Their emotion is attached into it. And then because their personal politics are somewhere in the neighborhood of, what a BLM maybe represents. They, like I said, they ascribe the best possible, intentions onto this group. And it's just like Sentient Dildo brought up a good point. I hate giving him any kind of shine, but he did. And it says it's the same shit with the Patriot Act. He's like, yeah, I'm a patriot. I support that.
Yeah.
It's like you just put your best
America.
Yeah, you just imagine the best case, you're like, well, they're looking out for America and patriots and, the best interest of the country. Well, that's what I am and that's what I want. So they ascribe, their intentions to be positive just because they've got a good name. It's catchy. It sounds right. Like it's hard to say I'm against the Patriot Act.
Yeah,
right?
And that's why they name things. It's such a, it's such a creepy. I think is that Hegelian? I'm not sure. I'm not as good. I know the Hegelian dialectic is using is a problem reaction solution. What some people may say a certain disease from a certain country may have been, but it's something about using phrases. I know it's at least Marxist on some level, somewhere in the Marxist spectrum, or you use phrases that are sound, to lull people in to a false sense of security. So you tell people it's almost the opposite of what it is, basically.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean, but like,
manipulative wording. But there's another direct.
There's more of like a precise kind of. This is I don't know for sure, because most of this stuff is not that well researched. It's just kind of like my own brain doing the work. If I read it all, I might be more effective. But I'm kind of a dummy, so. But yeah, no, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, man. But it's like just putting a little bow on that whole Chris Pratt thing. He ain't taking that shit.
Yeah, and that's good. We have to stop taking that shit. We have to stop letting this shit go. Yeah, Anthony Perry has it called rat poison ice cream, and people would lap it up. That's what's happening. Oh, yeah, speaking of lapping it up, did you know it's racist for white people not to eat bugs? Did you hear that?
racist for white people to eat bugs?
To not eat bugs. So they're trying to push
To
bugs
not
in.
eat bugs?
Yes.
What?
They're trying to. Oh man, I gotta find this one. I'll find
That's
it.
actually great. You know what? We should start like an internet hashtag and see how many wokies we can get to eat bugs.
They might.
That would be awesome. That would be fucking awesome. Because I saw white people dressing up in chains and having their hands bound in these public displays of "we're sorry, black people," anti-racist shit.
Whoa.
You never
That's
seen
creepy
this?
as fuck. No.
This happened.
Man, this is creepy. Super duper creepy, man. That's
Yeah, that was
a lot of that shit is real creepy, man. I don't want. I thought it was weird that I went to fucking Publix Deli and they gave me extra food when George Floyd died. I'm like, okay, man, what the fuck is this supposed? What are you like? I appreciate it, but like, you're not. Did you think this extra chicken strip was going to like solve racial tension, bro? Thanks for a free sub, but like, this is stupid,
dude. See, this is genuinely, this is disturbing. Like, this is gone. This got like, it's disturbing.
Okay,
like this happened.
Oh
like,
boy,
yeah.
This is with kids doing this shit.
Yeah. Isn't that wild, man?
Man, what the fuck are we doing, man?
I don't know.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get.
This is a school. This is a school. I mean, this is a really biased media outlet, so I'm not going to read the article because it's just like he refers to the guy as a cuck. It's like, I mean,
he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong, but you can't like if we don't want editorializing in journalism, I want it universal. True. Just tell me the truth. You know, don't put your spin on it. Like, we aren't a media. We're not a news outlet. We are commentary. We can say our opinions. Like, that's what anyone's here for. But if you're the news, I guess it's just another blog. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. I feel conflicted for some reason. I'm not sure.
But no, you know what? You're actually right to be conflicted, because if we, at the end of the day, we're using this as news. We're not going to get this in the mainstream outlet,
right?
Because you want to shock the hell out of a bunch of people. Show them this. So sorry, this is insane. I am not a fucking slave. I do not go through my life associating everything I am to slavery. That may be mind blowing to the woke white person, but I do not think of myself, oh man, I'm a fucking slave and I was born a slave. No. I in my head, everybody who went through shit generations previous did not get here for me to feel like a slave, or for this self-assured woke black teacher that's in there who's making her kids do that shit.
And like, thank you for nothing. By the way, slavery is not unique to black people in America.
No, it's not unique to America. It's not. It's a part of the human condition.
Yeah,
for better or for worse.
It still is.
Yeah, you know what country does it? China. Oh, sheesh. I almost. I don't want to get.
I just get. Shit. We lost him. Well, all right. I was bound to happen.
All right. I stopped myself just short.
No, but it's true though. It's true. And it's like, I mean, sorry, YouTube. Sorry, I'm pointing that out, but it's not just China either. It's like, look, that doesn't mean we need to sweep it under the rug. I'm not one of those people, but it is like, this is obscene. And it's like, look, it was bad that it happened, and it did end up negatively affecting the race of the people who, look, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just that, like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is absurd.
This doesn't solve anything.
No, it's very upsetting. This is really fucked up. But that being said, let's see if we can get some wokies to eat bugs.
Okay, I found the Popular Science article, but I'm not sure. I know there was something about. I guess their thing is this doesn't really look as woke as I thought, but I know they're trying to get us to eat bugs.
Cold holo,
hell, cold holo.
Yo. Toxic man flu of Dick's division.
Hell, toxic man flu.
Sorry for this to be my first chat, but fuck everyone associated with this image. They need to be gone from this country. I know, isn't that the craziest fucking
That's the
thing?
creepiest, most
but the thing is, like, that was all. I mean, I guess the kids in the school, that really wasn't their but the teachers, the parents of those kids who let them go to the school, like, those are the adults, the adults of the kids who let that happen. They're to blame.
Yes, they are. Jesus Christ, that's
disgusting.
That is disgusting. I hate when people do shit like that to kids.
It's really fucked up.
Very fucked up.
And I think, honestly, you really plant the seeds for some actual real racism.
Absolutely. I thought about that. I'm like, those kids, you think those kids are not going to be a lot more likely to be racist than every other kid after that?
Yeah. Because they rebel against your parents anyway. Like, that's what you do. And now you're going to be, you're going to explore different ideas, and you're going to, who knows, you might find yourself in that camp for a little while.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, it's not
no
white supremacy that we should eat bugs for. Sustainability. And they already do it in Latin America and Asia. So stop being a bitch, you Westerner. It's not saying that. It's popular science, so it's a lot less slanted than I thought it was. But I feel like that's the soft implication that, okay, other places are doing it, and it's talking about how, what's the actual phrase? The global meat industry has been questioned for being responsible for at least 20% of man-made greenhouse gas emissions, being an unsustainable practice. Raising cattle.
Wasn't that dispelled, though?
I'm pretty sure it was. A lot of that shit's been dispelled, especially when it comes to America. Like, I think our emissions are going down.
I think what happened in like South America, they would slash and burn the forests, and then they would create land for the cattle. And I think that's why when they say the global meat industry, that's why they incorporate that in there, because probably created tons of CO2.
Yeah.
But I think that's been dispelled. I know that was always part of the narrative because I was a bit of a food activist for a little while myself. And I still kind of am, by the way. I think agribusiness is despicable. And, that's not, I'm very much not into that type of food. And I think we, should be separating ourselves more from processed food, whole foods, organic foods, that all notwithstanding. I used to believe that because that was part of the propaganda of a lot of these documentaries, was that, like, in addition to it being unhealthy and like inhumane, which it is, it was also one of the major contributors to greenhouse gases. But then I heard like Rogan talking about that, and I was like, that's bullshit. And I'm fairly certain I Googled it, and it did turn out to not be true.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right. I know a lot of people are talking about like the whole slavery thing. The odds that your family owned slave are so minuscule because of, obviously, that was only first off, if you just take Southern white people in the 1800s, most of them did not own slaves because that's like
95% did not.
So of the people that could have owned them, in the most likely area there was, very few relatively did. And then on top of that, obviously, you have another half of the country. And then you have all the immigrants that came over in the early 20th century.
Which is the bulk of the population in this country.
Yes, which ironically enough, one of my ancestors are one of those Irish immigrants that came over and married a black woman when he got here, because I guess they were pretty much treated equally around that time. But yeah, so it's just like, but that's not the point. The point is white people privilege. And you know what? This is always bothering me,
because I think why they came up with that is because of that inconvenient fact that we just explored. Because then because then you could be like, well, no, then not that. And they're like, well, no, I have to win this argument. So white privilege.
Here's another thing that's always pissed me off about white privilege. Even though I lived in Detroit, I lived a significant portion of my life in a very rural area of Michigan. And I saw a lot of poor white people who were a lot poorer than me. I saw actually a lot of white welfare queens, believe it or not. And I know it's a lot like that in a lot of rural areas that are kind of like ran down. And you know what I mean? If a lot of areas got hit by that damn, whatever you want to call it, in 2008, the downturn. And then Detroit in the Michigan area got hit doubly because the auto kind of crashed before that. So a lot of these areas became like just really, really fucked up. And they're mostly white, and they almost get forgotten about because a lot of them aren't flyover states. They're not really like major cities. And I think about having gone through West Virginia, seeing some of that stuff. It's just like, man, if you guys think that these people are privileged just because, I would love to know why you think that, and why you think that they don't deserve help in any way, shape, form, or fashion. By the way,
I would think that most people who would capitulate with the privilege argument are doing so under duress of being feared of being called racist.
A lot, but
because because it will happen. This is a tough conversation to have, to be honest. You know what I mean? And it is tough. It's an emotional conversation, and you get a little clumsy sometimes, and you say things you don't mean, or you say emotional things, and then you get caught out. And oh, see, we knew it, and it gets weird. So it's like, instead of that, just capitulate with the group that, you know, is economically depressed and, you know, also has a racial component there. And then you don't have to really think about it or have the issue or have the complicated conversation ever again.
Yeah, I think
You
there's
just
more
say white.
poor white people than there are black people in general in this country. Something, or very close to the same amount. There's a significant amount of poor white people who just totally get ignored from the conversation because they're privileged, and that's like insane to me.
Well, that's why there's a pretty good argument to say that a lot of this stuff is like, you know, divisive for a reason, to keep people, you know, so that they don't realize that they have more in common with each other than they think. I mean, and what's weird too is it almost kind of gets into socialism too, though, because then it becomes like almost more of a class issue, which like I would probably agree with more than anything when it comes to all this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it definitely is a class issue in this country. But the champagne socialists don't realize which part they lie on this issue. They don't realize they're the machine that's helping a lot of these issues. The welfare program has caused so much destruction that we're trying to create more programs to account for all the destruction that's caused. And it's like, not just that, the education program, a lot of the way a lot of education systems are. I talked about Baltimore, and it's not just them, where you had the kid who had like a 0.13. He's in the middle of his senior class. It's just like insane.
Yeah, I read an article. No, read a tweet. Kerry Smith put it out, and it was this black dude who was like, I think a graduate student, and he said that like he got suspicious of his professors, and he was kind of like getting all these good grades, and then he started like and then he started making intentional mistakes and stuff to see if they would grade him down, and they fucking didn't.
Oh wow.
And then he realized, like, when he got out into the world, a lot of people would make a racist judgment against him because of all like professors who would push through students of color, and then when they showed up to the job, they weren't qualified. And he said as much. He's like, when I showed up, I realized I wasn't qualified.
Oh man.
Dude, I remember seeing that firsthand in one of my acting studios, because, you know, that's the only type of work, I guess, any performance art is the only type of work where you like all the class sees your paper, you know what I mean? Sees like the finished product, you know what I mean? So it's like, I would see like students perform poorly or miss notes or whatever, would just not get it right. And I remember my teacher would fucking coddle them, like the black girls, and not give them as harsh criticism. And it was so paternalistic. It was so like, she's an adult, she can handle the criticism. And I remember just watching her do that. I was like, this is so fucking uncomfortable,
man. And this may sound weird. I've been wondering why, like, it feels like more younger black actors suck. Like there's exceptions, but if you just watch the generic movie, generic TV show, and there's a young black actor, they're going to be very generic or trash.
I think it's probably just because there's such a
lot of young actors too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit actors, bro.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, it's shit all over the place. But it's like, I would imagine that there's probably such a high demand for black actors and actors of color that people are probably getting hired before they're ready.
Maybe,
or like they would maybe never have made it. Or, you know, they wouldn't like this. They would never match the quality needed to be a professional actor. And now, because it's like, well, I don't know him, you know, we have to pick him. We can't have any white people, you know, certainly not white men. So it's like, I would imagine most likely it's that. And also probably the writing is such shit that it's impossible to make it good.
Yeah. Eric K says he coddles me just because I'm soft and fluffy. I'm working on that. I got to get this damn weight off.
You start working out?
Well, not that. I haven't gotten that far. You know what? But before Tetris, even though I'm probably gonna play Tetris later, I am gonna try to at least go to the gym.
There you go. Yeah, man, just get out of the house, make that first step. That's the big change. I'm gonna go to the gym after this stream. After the stream, I'm gonna go.
That's smart to
I've been
do.
pretty fucking. I've been soft as fuck. I have
Uh-oh.
not been. The holiday slowed me down big time.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Oh, Brutes. Oh
Work
man,
at
that
this
was a tense conversation. I feel like a little like drained from it. You know, I
Oh,
feel just
man.
kind of a little down. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up things happening, man. A lot of fucked up
Yeah.
things.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, this is the culture crime fair, so we have to fight culture crimes. And this is an interesting one that I'd like to talk about. So I don't even know if you heard about this because I think that just happened today or the news just happened today. I watched a video right before this stream, and it was Bouting in the Comics made a video. John F. Trent made a video about the OneRing.net. And I know you've heard of them, right?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, right?
Yep. And Gary talks about them all the time and quotes them as a really valuable resource for, you know, Lord of the Rings news. And apparently they're like really big fans. So it's like very closely tied in with like someone I respect, Gary's like level of respect. So it's like you almost come pre-endorsed because I heard about you from Gary. So therefore you're most likely on the up and up. Well, I guess they started virtue signaling and
really,
and they referred to Tolkien, JRR Tolkien, as woke.
What?
Yeah. So let's get into this article because
without seeing it, I wonder if that's like what the hell did they do in the Bible to, you know, you put something on your hut so that angel will pass you and not kill your firstborn, like something along those lines. Passover, yeah. But there's the Passover concept, lamb's like that's what they did. Yeah, it's lamb's blood. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's curious. I just got a element tip for $3.33 from Fallius Balchausen.
I have a sneaky suspicion that's actually Darius Munchausen. Thanks, man.
Oh, yeah. Fallius Balchausen. And it's a baseball. It's a baseball. Right. Thank you very much, Fallius Balchausen.
Appreciate it.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it was lamb's blood.
Yeah, lamb's blood over the door. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. This is the lamb's blood. Like, hey, he's woke. Please just pass over us, guys.
I think you might be right. I mean, that's what a virtue signal is anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's what the whole point is to show that, hey, leave me alone. Like, that's what they all do. That's the, bad robot, stop white comfort, all that shit. That's exactly what they're all doing. They're like, hey, we're not part of the problem. We're good. The Islington girl says, well, probably because they know the show is going to be a woke nightmare. Maybe. But Bounding into Comics suggested that this might be an access issue because something with Amazon Studios and them getting like primary access to some of this stuff. Like this might be a espionage, like intelligence operation, right? They might be trying to get, yes, they might be trying to get the OneRing.net on their side because they're the kind of unofficial, official, true fan outlet. And if they can get them saying positive things about the Amazon Lord of the Rings show,
they'll destroy their credibility and not actually achieve the goal they want to.
But it would create cognitive dissonance with the audience, because they'd be like, well, I trust these guys and they say it's good. They're Lord of the Rings experts. So then it's good.
Yeah. Unless if it's a disaster, it would just destroy their credibility. Everyone will see through it immediately.
Not immediately. I mean, maybe more and more, but I went back and started watching Mahler's like the Force Awakens videos. And the first one's an introduction. It's so genius. It's just such a like a boot camp into critically assessing things from like an objective standpoint. It's so precise. But he showed video after video after video of people that said the Force Awakens was great, including people like Red Letter Media.
Yeah. A lot of people were positive on the Force Awakens. Very positive on it.
To say that people would immediately reject it, I don't know. I think we're smarter and more savvy now than we were back when The Force Awakens came out. But
You
I
know
think
what
there's
it
still be
is?
a
Here's why I will even push back a little bit more. Force Awakens didn't punch you in the face like The Last Jedi did. The Force Awakens gave you a false sense of security, and a lot of people had those. Even people that liked it said, "Hey, they didn't really explain everything. Hey, this is." I knew it was just a beat for beat remake of A New Hope. I was just happy to have some Star Wars. I'll give myself. I'll tell on myself. When The Force Awakens came out, I was happy to have seen it. I'm like, hey, there's some Star Wars. Yeah, it's just kind of A New Hope-ish. But I wonder what's going to happen with this Rey person. I wonder whose daughter she's going to be, Paul. Wonder what's going to happen with this Finn person. Surely they have a story for him, Paul. And it went to shit so bad. But yeah, I was in that same brigade of people who thought, you know what? This is fine. This is good. Happy joy.
Fucking brutal. I did not have that reaction. Real quick, just Eric K saying Mueller is going to be the guest on FNT this week. That makes me happy. That makes me very happy.
Hell long, man.
I wasn't tricked, but I think a lot of people there's had this kind of goodwill, sort of the same thing we were just talking about, where they're ascribing goodwill to the producers of the movie. They're like, okay, that didn't make sense. That left the door open for a lot of things. And well, I imagine they're going to answer that. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what my thought was.
But I think a lot of people should have been more upset by the fact that fucking Han Solo got murdered, and also that him and Leia weren't together, and that their child was the result of their union was the next Darth Vader. It's like,
yeah.
That struck me immediately. Like that was the kind of thing that stood out really wrong to me right out the gate. I mean, I pretty much was off that movie like almost immediately. I was like, oh no, this is
I didn't like them killing Han, and I didn't like them making him just like his whole arc didn't matter. Basically, like, oh, let's just reset the arc.
Yeah,
he's just a shitty dad.
But that is all off topic because we're talking about Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings fan site describes JRR Tolkien as woke. Okay, Lord of the Rings fan site, The One Ring, recently described Lord of the Rings writer J.R.R. Tolkien as woke in a recent Twitter thread. The website appears to have some kind of connection to Amazon Studios' current Lord of the Rings TV series production. Wow, that was a long phrase. Given that they were the first to receive and publish the original synopsis of the show back in January. See, psyops.
Oh, man.
They're getting them. They're breaking down their resolve. Regardless, the thing is, though, there's so many people anticipating this is going to be bad. So I feel like they have such a losing battle to overcome that this almost is definitely going to be a disaster. So I think it's almost a good thing. It's like, oh, they're really trying to get us and they're not going to.
Yeah, I think they're just going to destroy the OneWing.net. I don't think it's going to work at all.
Probably. Yeah. So it says, regardless, they took to Twitter where they began a thread condemning, quote, homophobic comments. They wrote, quote, listen, we've been dealing with homophobic comments for decades and it's still wrong. Why would it now be right?
So wait.
It's still wrong. Oh, I thought we got to a place where it was now right. Thank you for clearing that up.
Under what grounds have homophobic comments been a major part of the Lord of the Rings? Is it Ian McKellen? Because I see he's mentioned in the tweet.
I don't know. I'd like to hear what they're gonna say. I would like to hear where they're going with this. I bet it's
I would love to know.
Yeah, let's find out. Whatever toxic arguments are being said now about Lord of the Rings fandom and adaptations is the same trash that said Ian McKellen was the worst affront to Tolkien's legacy ever. #pride. First of all, you virtue signaling fuck. I've never heard anything other than tremendous love and praise for Ian McKellen and the suggestion that
I need a receipt.
Strong. I don't even care if it was ever said. It doesn't matter because there was probably like one dude who said it, and who gives a fuck wherever. But like the outpouring of love and admiration and respect for that character and his depiction, it's like universal. It's so universal. You bringing this up is like way more hurtful than it having been said at any point, which it probably never even was.
That's what I'm like. I have never ever heard anyone have a negative word to say about Gandalf at all, ever,
Not one time,
ever,
Not,
ever
also,
in any way.
And also, I don't think he was he outwardly gay when he was cast as Gandalf?
I think he might have been.
Really?
But I mean, I do. I think it's one of those things that it was just like it's been known, but it was. You got to remember, there was a point where we didn't actually give a damn, and so therefore you really wouldn't have known.
Well, yeah, because it
way.
wasn't this thing you had to announce. It was just sort of like, yeah, it's known that they're gay, and who cares?
It was not like he didn't have his pronouns in his Twitter bio at the time because there was no Twitter to have. You know what I mean? So there was no need to virtue signal all the time about your personal life. But I'm pretty sure that was like an open secret as far as Ian McKellen. And no, Gandalf, Eric K, you're right. Gandalf is not gay. But yeah, it's like Gandalf had no sexuality at all.
Yeah, Gandalf's not gay, but what's it? Dumbledore is. God,
you know what? Islington Girl brings up even better points. Like he had no sexuality at all. It's almost as if like sex isn't the most important thing. I mean, it's important for life to exist, but it's almost like there are more important elements to story than who someone is fucking. And in many cases, he was into threesomes.
the threesome. Sorry, go ahead, man.
But no, in many cases, the overemphasis on sexuality is kind of irrelevant in most like genre-based stories, unless it's strictly relevant that someone's like loved one or whoever is in danger or a part of the story. It doesn't matter. Like no one cares about the sexuality of any of these characters because that's not what the story's about.
I'll say this: the common homosexual pejorative that's used to deride gay people is way more appropriate for this guy who wrote this tweet than anyone who's a gay man. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. The idea that you would put this out there is so absurd. Like that's like saying, everyone hated
Darth Vader because he's black.
What's his name for being gay from Queen? Like
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, like as if that was part of his legacy. It's like that was so not it. It was like by the time that was common knowledge, Queen was indelible, so loved, and still is. Years after his death, people adore Queen, and it's never been an issue. And if it is, it's for like truly homophobic people, like in these tiny little corners that don't matter. It's like such a ridiculous argument to try to make.
But that's the point. They have to virtue signal. And it's sad that this, I'm not as big of a Tolkien fan. I did like the movies, but I'm not like diehard into the lore. I never read the books as far as the Lord of the Rings. But it sucks because this has been a franchise that hadn't really dealt with this shit.
Right.
And it's here. It's at the front door. And I feel for the people who care about it. I mean, I say that, but it seems like the past few months we've started to see things. There was like, I think an article talking about something. I don't know.
Sentient Dildo says, to be honest, wizards are pretty gay.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. All right. So they follow up that writing. Cogent, respectful debate on Tolkien is always welcome, but homophobic, racist, misogynistic trash is always a case for banning. Well, let's just take this time to applaud their bravery and their tough stance on hate speech. Congratulations, guys. That is really brave. Super brave. It's not
so stunning, so brave.
So stunning, so brave. It's not what Tolkien fandom is. Wants or welcome. That's oddly put. We used to be able to ban in the era of message boards and IRC, but in the era of social media, ... Next, they wrote, the platforms can't keep toxicity out of our community. We can mute and block, but that's only for this account's feed. Twitter is not a community simply because it lacks anti-troll tools. Nasty people still show up in replies because their toxic friends subtweeted us.
Please show receipts for any of this. OneRing.net. Just anything resembling receipts would be helpful.
That would be great. My Twitter account then argued that Tolkien was woke. That Twitter account. They tweeted, if you still think Ian McKellen is the worst and that Catholic Tolkien would have never approved, I beg you to read more of Tolkien's books and letters. He was woke. Stood against hate, embraced all cultures in life and fiction, and that's why his books are translated in every language.
Okay. So whoever wrote this,
False
I don't know.
equivalency.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these Twitter accounts because I know the same thing happened with Heavy Metal Magazine. Like, well, that was a different thing, but whoever runs the Twitter just gets into their thank you, isn't the girl? What raised this misogynistic shit? Like, I have never heard. Maybe it's because I'm out of the loop, but I've never heard of this huge contingent of really any group of fandom that's so racist and sexist and misogynistic and homophobic. Like, who are these people? Like, where are these people coming from? Where we won't accept homophobic speech at all. And like, at what point? Like, I've never seen. Is there a hate Ian McKellen thing? Is that a thing that started? Because I've never seen it.
It's never happened. Literally never. Even hardcore anti-gay Catholics are like, that was a hell of a performance.
Yeah.
They're like, I might not like him, and I think he should go to hell, but goddamn, he can act as like a wizard. The problem with their worldview is that we would be considered far right because we don't support BLM.
Yeah.
That's how they look at it. If you disagree with the narrative, you're far right. Like that's all there is in the world is their point of view and the far right. So when they say all this, the way he puts it with this, hate or, trying to project all this stuff that might just be fans being like, I don't want to see gay hobbits.
That's probably what it is.
Like he's equating that with homophobia.
You know what? I don't really want to see gratuitously straight hobbits. I don't want to see like Playboy Chad hobbits fucking all the girls. That's nothing to do.
The only hint of sex in that entire thing is Arwen and what's his name's relationship and fucking Strider. What's his name? Aragorn. Them, having a kid. And Samwise and his chick from the barmaid from back in the Hobbiton. That's it. That's the entire. That's it. That's all the sex in that 3 movies.
Yeah, it's not. That's not a part of the. That's not what it's there for. That's not what the movie. That's not the story the movie's trying to tell. It's not relevant to it.
It's not relevant to it.
As much as they are always trying to add, sexuality swap and all this stuff, they always add sexuality to things. Just like they always ship male things. Like there's nothing that exists without sexuality. There's like a deprived element.
Bro, I was thinking about this and I was like, God damn it, that is so right. It's like they will always take away the sexuality where it used to be and then put it where it never was.
Yes.
Isn't that
take away a hot girl on a cover of a magazine, but then add it to a kid show?
Yep.
It's like, why?
Just put it where it never belonged, and put it on these characters where it was never there, and then take it from the characters where it was.
Yeah,
and that's why people always get mad, and they always try to frame it as sexism or intolerance. It's like, I am extraordinarily intolerant of you coming in here and changing this to fit your worldview or your agenda. I am 100% intolerant of that. So you want to call me intolerant? Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah. Since you did on Sam is definitely.
I know. When the WOKEdown says, "Let's be fair," the
I knew that was coming.
Let's be honest. He's a little gay. Frodo's a little gay.
Sam and Frodo. The fact that neither is what's the word I'm trying to look for? Neither are the most masculine they're not the most masculine of men. So like that's one of those like Bert and Ernie things where it's like, okay, there's always been people who wondered, you know what I mean? Or like Peppermint Patty and whatever the girl calls her sir. You're like, okay, I could. When they do jokes and they're older and they're lesbians, she's like, yeah, they probably were lesbians. Yeah,
I mean, Bert and Ernie lived together.
Yeah, they slept in the same room.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of reasons you could
probably.
Their beds were like very close to. It's like, okay, we get it.
My favorite though are those Bert and Ernie memes. Have you seen any of those?
Some of them.
They're pretty.
Did they officially make them gay?
I mean, Cookie Monster now eats vegetables.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, cookies sometimes foods like. I mean, It's just that it has to be propaganda. Like it's like I guess parents shouldn't be responsible for making their kids not fat. We should propaganda is the answer, guys. Propaganda.
The state will do everything.
Yeah. Let me finish this article just because it's like so ridiculous. All right. They continue the thread. Jesus Christ. They really want to alienate everyone who likes them because they're not like it's not a huge channel. Like the One Ring, like as a YouTube channel, it's not gigantic. I don't even think they're at 10,000 subs. It's not huge. They continue the thread. If you think Ian McKellen gets a pass, but whatever Amazon doing is a disgrace to Tolkien, please think more on your personal bias before tweeting. Oh, SJW language. Personal bias. That's you don't agree with our narrative.
It's very active, guys.
As soon as you don't agree with the narrative, now you have personal bias. They don't have any personal bias, but you do because you're not, a communist. Our block button is very active. And if you retweet, enable toxic voices in the name of free speech, you not love Token. Or you do not love Token.
Man, it's going to suck. Because I really do like Gary. They're going to come after him. OneRing.net specifically. That's where this is headed.
Wait, say that again.
So they just said if you enable and retweet toxic voices in the name of free speech, you do not love Token. I know Gary is a huge Lord of the Rings fan, as you said.
The Islington girl, the One Ring turning into a cock ring.
Absolutely. But like this is gonna end with like YouTubers like Gary, like just some guy getting like blocked by them. And being like antagonized and or either antagonized or something's gonna happen. I think they'll end up blocking them or blocking one of their tweets because it'll be considered toxic.
They'll never recover.
Yeah.
If they make an enemy of Gary, they'll never recover.
But I think that's what's gonna happen. Gary and just some guy, because just some guys made a lot of videos on some of the bullshit with the Token. And I can see those guys in the next 5 to 6 months having some beef from the One Rings way.
Oh boy!
Hopefully, I'm wrong. I want to be wrong about this. I don't want to be right.
I'm not going to protect them. If they want to be woke, then be woke and suffer the consequences. Idiots. You know what I mean? Like you want to say you stand for fandom, and then you're going to attack fans and this misogynistic. Oh, really? Tolkien's woke. You're antagonizing people right now. So that's how you want to do it. You got to suffer the consequences of those actions, buddy. That's how you want to walk through this world. Then all right, you better be ready to pay. Because if you're standing here as like this outpost of Tolkien fandom, and we're here to protect it, that's what we do. And this is how you go about that. I will not cry one tear for you, Val. Not one.
Because they're saying that toxic voices. If they're going to stop quote unquote toxic voices, you know what that means.
I mean, I don't like that they made this character gay. I don't like that they race swapped this character. I don't like that they have socialist messaging or whatever it is. And they're like, well, that's toxic.
Blockchain.
I mean, but you're going to do exactly what Hollywood did. You're just going to give rise to someone more powerful, more insightful, more observant, and has got now a bigger following.
Yeah. And that is what they're going to do. That's what I see. This is not going to go well. And I was hoping that it wasn't going to come to this. But it is.
Look at this final. And this is what's so funny. Finally, they concluded the thread writing #Pride gives us the greatest performances beyond all expectations. And he uses a still from The Hobbit.
Huh.
You dick.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Yeah, I didn't see The Hobbit. I just saw the 3 main movies. I didn't see anything else.
Absolutely no reason to waste your time with that fucking kaleidoscope of CGI trash. It is so bad. It was so bloated. Missed the tone. It was just trying to cash in on Lord of the Rings nostalgia, honestly.
I see. You know what? That's kind of what I thought when I saw the thing. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this.
It's a mess. It's unclear what the One Ring is specifically taking issue with, other than it has something to do with Ian McKellen and the Amazon production and alleged comments made about them. As you can see above, they don't actually provide any evidence.
Thank you. Please. I would settle for a fake tweet. Just show me a receipt, please. Anything.
Just one.
Yeah, a single receipt. Because that just sounds like they would have had more if they were talking about the current casting. I would say, yeah, I'm sure there's some people critical of the current casting and some of the decisions and some of the rumors, but I have never, ever, ever heard anything negative about Ian McKellen as far as any performance he's done, to be fair. Like anything.
It's also the nature of their criticism is too perfect for their narrative.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It sounds like sounds like the straw man they want to fight.
Yeah. Which globalist wrote this for you guys?
That's what I mean. It's like, did you guys just write your own tweet and then tweet it at you and then be like, we won't stand for this? Because that's kind of what it sounds like.
Yes, that's what it is. But they can't even show that.
They wouldn't even show that. I wonder if maybe they would do that thing where they discuss, then people start doing the backwards work and figure out, expose that it's one of their burner accounts,
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't work for Kevin Durant. So hopefully this
a lot of people have gotten busted. It's so humiliating.
Yeah. And this is totally random, but you told me about the Bert and Ernie memes and I was kind of checking them out. They're very fucking dark.
Yeah, it's just we can't share them.
No, we cannot. No, I didn't know. They're very brutal dark. Like
they're hilarious, but they just can't. We can't. No. They eat our channel.
No, we want the channel to grow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure.
Both channels are great. Good Lord.
All right. So I think it's just a last little. Oh no. This keeps going. Oh man. All right. Is there anything else worth reading?
Well, I love bounding, but they can stretch the word out.
Yeah, I understand.
Every organization does, to be fair.
I think
they are nowhere near as bad as fucking like Variety or some of the other ones where it's like this pamphlet. It's like, I'm not converting to Hollywood. Please, you can stop writing now.
I think he's just editorializing.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, it's his right to do that. But yeah, well, that's. I wonder if Gary will talk about this on FNT.
Like I said, I kind of feel like he's a soft target. Him and just some guy, because those are. Granted, this community, so we have a little bit more visibility for them, but I just feel like they're very critical of what's going to be happening. I remember asking Gary in the super chat, like, do you think they spent $500 million on something? He said no. He thinks they spent already $1 billion for this TV show, and they have nothing to show for it. Jesus. And I'm like, wow. So I can see them being people in general that if you have this, multi-bill, however much they spent and have put into this property, you want to silence critics. And that's what they want. Like you said, the goal is to soft brainwash them. What you said for the onewing.net is the intended goal. Once they start saying, oh, this is actually good, the people who believes in them and say, yeah, you know what, I think you're right, this is good. And that's the plan.
Yeah, it's kind of their old strategy, really. I mean, they've always done that. They do that with the video games where they get like the access journalists like on their side and start saying great things about, Last of Us 2, or, they start doing it with, what they did with all the Star Wars movies, The Last Jedi, where they get out ahead of it. They get out ahead of the criticism because they know it's going to come because they've intentionally destroyed the property. So they know the criticism is going to come. But if they can, like lessen some of that, they can kind of soften the blow a little bit, then more people will be tricked into watching it and spending money on it. The thing is, like, Amazon they don't need the money. Like, they don't need the subscriptions. Like, I know that Gary says Bezos wants his own Game of Thrones, which, okay, I understand. And that'll probably help his numbers and stuff like that. But like,
bro,
even if this is bad, I'm not leaving Amazon. Like,
I don't understand what the fuck Amazon's doing with their money for their film shit. I don't understand that MGM deal they did where they just paid $8 billion for a bunch of shit that nobody wants outside of maybe I know a lot of people are into Stargate, and maybe if they can not ruin and cuck James Bond, or if they can repair him in whatever movie after No Time to Me Too, maybe they can do something with James Bond. But I can't imagine they bought MGM But it's like, what are you gonna do with all these properties? And most of these properties don't even have resale value.
Sorry, look at Snorted Poop's Cuba. It's so funny. This show is going to be a giant Mordor-sized dumpster fire.
It is.
That's
It
funny.
is. Throw the whole show into the Mount Doom. Just get rid of it all.
Yeah. I don't know what Amazon's doing. It's okay. So you want your hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have like this property, you have all this access, and like, you have like, you can make it. So if you want the hit, you know how to make the hit. You just make it as faithful to the books, to the source material as possible. You satisfy the core fan base. The fan base will spread it. People will watch it, and then it's a hit. I mean, that's how all this works. It's not, I don't really think it's complicated.
Well, it is when you're a champagne socialist. It is when you have to, you know what I mean, I don't know. You have to be the forefront of wokeness. You have to virtue signal to all the people in your peer group. That's really what it's about. Or
I mean, maybe, but at this
or
point,
societal engineering. But
that's what I think it's more that, because at this point, there's no lack of evidence. There's no, like cognitive dissonance between, oh, well, we thought the market wanted this and people would enjoy it. Like, you've had so much clear evidence and so many failures, financial failures, attempting this route, that there's no way you can really still, especially if you're like a money guy, where you can respect that path will make any kind of waves. So then the only real solution left is like, yeah, you're more focused on social engineering than making good content. Was like, well, as soon as we connect those dots, then we know you're just making propaganda, and that won't work either.
No, because it didn't work even when we didn't know what was going on.
Bingo.
Because it never works, because it isn't good, because it isn't what we go to whatever property it's for. And it has to be something. So I've heard people say, oh, well, they don't care about money. And I've actually worked for Amazon. I'm like, hey, if they give a fuck about some rando employee in Columbia, South Carolina, making sure he picked 90 items in an hour instead of 95, and they'll yell at him for that, they give a fuck about how much money they spend. If they're doing it outside of the financial, has to buy for oneself or two, to quote Prop Joe, if they're doing it outside of financial reasons, then it must be something nefarious, or why else do it? Why else would a company that built itself on efficiency spend billions of dollars on something?
Makes no sense.
Has no way to get this money back, especially since, as you said, Amazon Prime, I think it's technically the #1 streaming service, but it's not because of the streaming service, because of the shipping. I just got something today. It came next day.
I can't beat that shit. I just bought new earbuds, and it's like, you comparison shop, you can return anything, like no extra charge. Like, you just being in a city like Austin or LA. I mean, when in LA, it was insane. I literally just walked down the street to the Amazon grocery store and then just returned it there, and then picked up, a bottle of tequila. It was like obscenely convenient.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of places I can return stuff if I need to.
Yeah.
I was like everything's walking distance for me.
Yeah. I was like, if it's going to be the United States of Amazon, I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah. It's like, like I've never had a service this convenient in my life. So it's just like, you're already winning. Like, so then just give us more entertainment. Do it Wall-E style, just get us interested in stuff. But when you create divisive content, then our guard is up, and we're less likely to support. We're less likely to, just turn our brains off and consume, because we're hip to you now, man. And the fandom is hip. It took a while for a lot of the fandom to get hip to Star Wars, but I think almost collectively, the only people left are like stans and people and commies, like people who are like more of, I love saying that word, who are more like focused on the social aspects than the storytelling.
I agree. Even though I think there are some people who are like, because I've heard people who just say it. I wonder if they're like contrarians, or people who tolerate The Last Jedi and just like, you know what, I liked it, just to troll. Because I think somebody in the community who likes The Last Jedi. I want to say, I don't want to say because in case I got the wrong person, but isn't there someone in the community, guys, chat, help me out, that actually thinks The Last Jedi is decent or good?
I've never heard anyone say as much.
I think there is. Let me know. Yeah, Raylos, but I feel like there's somebody
Yeah.
who's like, it's not that. It's okay. It sucks, but there's somebody who tries to make some excuses for it.
That's sad. But I wanted to say, is it Uche?
I don't know if it's Uche. I don't know.
Because the wake down brings up a really good point. And he says the problem is that it does work, or at least it did. America circa 2014 was arguably woke, and they kept pretending like it wasn't the case and started preaching even louder. I was just going to say, I was thinking something like that. I was like, well, maybe it doesn't need to get even the majority of us. It just needs to get like enough division going so that we're weaker.
Maybe it's just divide and conquer.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of Amazon, this is something else I wanted to talk about. Last story of the day.
Right.
This is fucked up. I heard this and I was like, that can't be as bad as it sounds. Can it?
Mm-hmm.
So I heard this story. Amazon devices will soon automatically share your internet with neighbors.
Whoa.
I love how the title is, what could possibly go wrong?
You know what? I don't have any like Amazon tech because I have no need for digital personal assistants.
I have Roku. I have Roku and I have.
Oh, is Roku theirs?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought it was. Maybe Fire Stick is theirs. I don't know. I have a Roku and I have the tablet. I have the Fire.
Yeah.
I hope those aren't included.
I don't have. All I have is I don't have anything for Amazon because I didn't want, what the hell is Alexa? I didn't want that. I didn't need a Fire Stick, so no, I have no.
The Ginger Ninja says no. I don't know if he's referring to smash that like button or to that Roku is not an Amazon product. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I hope it's to the Roku part.
Yeah, please smash the like button. And sharing is caring, guys. Please share the stream.
It's caring.
Yeah.
Thank you. I saw someone shared my my YouTube my Army of the Dead review on Twitter today.
Cool. I should probably share it. Actually,
Bernard
is really good.
Well, I'm sorry. No, it was just cool of him. I was like, thanks. That was nice. I don't have a social media following, but
yeah.
Oh, okay. Mark D with a C says the internet sharing is only for quote smart devices like doorbells that are already spying on you anyway. Oh my God, the Ginger Ninja says I have a friend who loved The Last Jedi. Says Solo is his favorite Star Wars movie and loved Game of Thrones season 8. Wow, he must have some other good qualities, buddy. I hope so. I hope he's got a lot of other good qualities because his taste in movies is brutal.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I mean, because he
sometimes better be.
Nice people just like things, and it showed up, and some people have such a low barrier of criticism that like if you just put it on screen, you've already won. And they just, you know what, it was good. And there's just people like that.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know what I need. I guess, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I was never like that, even as a kid.
Yeah. There are movies I would kind of like that with, where you just, it showed up. It was fine. Like I didn't hate the Ben Affleck Daredevil as much as everyone else did. Because I was like, it's fine. I guess it was just fine.
But you're also like, how old were you when that came out? Like 16?
Actually, I think it was 15, 16, right there.
Yeah. I mean, not exactly a culture critic yet.
Yeah.
You're still learning, you're still kind of developing your taste. And you just kind of, at that point, you just kind of have like instincts. You just feel like you like some, feel like you like something or don't, like it's not, I rarely can intellectualize why.
Yeah. I'm sure it wouldn't hold up to a rewatch. Like, I'm sure if I rewatched it now, it would be a disaster.
No, that's a bad one. That's a real bad one. There's some great like, movie trashing content that movie spawned.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Robert, our internet.
Socialism.
Yeah. I want to see, like, I'm like, okay, I need to understand this a little better before I'm like, this is as bad as it sounds. But okay, Amazon's experimental wireless mesh networking turns users into guinea pigs. If you use Alexa, Echo, or many other Amazon devices, you only have 10 days until you're opted into an experiment that leaves your personal privacy and security hanging in the balance. On June 8th, The merchant web host and entertainment behemoth will automatically enroll the devices in Amazon Sidewalk. The new wireless mesh service will share a small slice of your internet bandwidth with neighboring Sidewalk-capable devices that don't have connectivity. Sidewalk will also help your Amazon devices to a sliver of bandwidth from other Sidewalk users when you don't have a connection.
That's crazy. It's socialized internet, ideally.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to be people's privacy being shot everywhere because technology doesn't work like that. And anytime you add something, you end up screwing something up. So you're just going to be, tweeting somebody playing with themselves or being projected to their neighbor or some shit. But yeah, that sounds like a fucking disaster.
That does sound bad. It could be because I understand that Elon Musk is working on some kind of global internet for everybody project.
Global Wi-Fi. Yeah, I do know he does.
Yeah. So maybe this is Bezos's attempt to be competitive with that.
Yeah, but this doesn't sound like what you do. Jeff Bezos is not as smart as Elon Musk, and I wish he just would accept that. So
he's pretty fucking smart.
He is, but he's not. He doesn't have the same. I shouldn't say he does not have the same types of intelligence as Elon Musk. He's a smart businessman.
Did I freeze? Did my video freeze?
Yeah, actually, you did kind of freeze.
Oh no, what happened here? Hey, bloody hell!
Bezos
is shutting us down.
Bezos, yeah. But yeah, I just feel like Elon needs to get got for real, maybe. But I just feel like Elon's a more creative guy, and Bezos is like a pragmatic guy, but he wants to be a creative guy, and he doesn't accept that he's not a creative guy. Like you're smart, you were able to create this efficient system. That was a brilliance, but you're not going to create a Tesla. Yeah. You're not going to create that kind of like innovative type thing.
Yeah, his innovation is more like the human condition. Like he's trying to innovate, space travel, the whole traffic thing, now global Wi-Fi. Yeah, like he's a little bit more like big picture kind of guy, where Bezos did one thing extraordinarily well.
Yeah. Like they both are doing rockets, but like Elon got something in air though, right? Then he did the launch like last year, wasn't it?
He launches constly. SpaceX is constantly launching. They just had another one the other day.
Okay,
they do it all the time. He got people to the ISS,
the space station. That's right. You're right. You're right.
No,
so that's what I mean. But
he's going to fucking Mars. That's happening.
Yeah, and Bezos I think has a whole thing, but I don't think it's as far along.
No, I don't think anywhere near it. I talked to a guy from SpaceX. He's like, they can compete all they want. They're not going to come anywhere near us. Like they fixed so many of the problems that seemed unfixable, like sustained radiation in space. They're like, yeah, we just put water insulation. It's fine. Like they know, like they did all this stuff where they just figured it out. So like, well, as I understand it, Elon's plan is to send just a convoy of rockets with supplies to Mars ahead of the astronauts. And then like when they get there, they're just, ready to go, and he's just not start terraforming, but start colonizing Mars. Like that's his goal.
Jesus, and Wake now has a good. Elon's an innovation guy, Bezos an infrastructure guy. That's the thing. He might actually do it. He's going. If he doesn't, it's because it's beyond the human capability of what we have now. We will find out because of Elon Musk. But Bezos couldn't get there, and I don't think Bezos can accept that. It is not a matter of money. It's a matter of everybody. You can't do everything. Creating Amazon was incredible.
I'm just trying to see this. I just want to see this whole idea. You know what I mean? And not just immediately black pill and assume it's the worst thing ever. Like it might very well be, but I do kind of want to try to understand this on a grand level and then kind of break down where the issues are, because it's like immediately it sounds like, oh, Amazon's spying on you. It's like, we know that they are, but let's not be, to me, I don't think it's healthy to be cynical always.
And you're right.
Even when it sounds like you should be.
You're 100% right. Yeah. Is there more to it? Because I think there might be.
Yeah. By default, a variety of Amazon devices will enroll in the system come June 8th. And since only a tiny fraction of people will take time to change default settings, that means millions of people will be co-opted into the program, whether they know anything about it or not. The Amazon webpage linked above says Sidewalk is currently only available in the US. The full list of devices that can act as Sidewalk bridges is the Ring Floodlight Cam, the Ring Spotlight Cam Wired, Ring Spot, okay, a bunch of different Echo Dot, Echo Dot for kids, and then I guess there's a bunch of different Echoes.
Okay, so everything in their like tech line, all the doorbells, the assistants, the tablets, all the crap they have.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable that all the Echoes would be communicating.
Yeah. And it also makes me uncomfortable, like, okay, which I'm sure they were already, they're already spying on us, but like the Echo for kids, that just seems very, because, okay, if you're going to automatically share internet bandwidth between objects without, like, that just sounds insane. Why would you want for my Echo to give internet bandwidth to the Echo in the apartment, 3 doors down? Like, what is the point of that? Like, what do I gain? What do they gain?
This might be like the first time we understood that our cell phones are being tracked. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, that's crazy. We shouldn't do that. Turn this off, turn that off. And then, like, a year later, everyone's like, all right, I guess we're just being tracked. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just like maybe the first time you hear about it, you're like, oh, that's crazy. And then a year later, you're like, all right, I guess we just share Wi-Fi. I don't know.
I still have tape over like my laptops and stuff. And then like when my camera's not active, I like face it down.
Yeah, I don't know if I should do that. I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm still sort of paranoid. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. It helps my mental well-being that I'm doing something to stop the man somewhat, even though I know it can't help. I mean, and I knew we were being tracked when I saw fucking The Dark Knight. When Batman was able to hack everyone's phones and see where the Joker was, I'm like, that's probably already here. And it was.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of science fiction tech there, but yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure the mechanism was, but like, I mean, that's where we are now. So it's like, okay, the government probably already has this. That was my thought, because I've always been sort of a conspiracy theorist. So
yeah, I'm just trying to see, is there like a positive thing? The omnipotent judgment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. This is tough to kind of discern.
Yeah.
Like whether this is good or bad, or if it just sounds bad, or if it is as bad as it sounds. I don't know. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
It sounds disturbing. Somebody said it's not Amazon Sidewalk, it's Amazon Skynet, and I agree.
That's what it sounds like. And it's all their devices that instantly communicate with each other and are sharing bandwidth. Like, I don't like that, man.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, like why are you sharing bandwidth? What's the real thing? Like we were just talking about with the pop culture, it's disingenuous. The real thing is probably social engineering. So like what is your real end game?
Yeah, it's always presented as a like a positive, like it's a convenience. This way you can use this device and blah 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 blah. But then like, what's the other side that we're not seeing?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question. We'll know. It's more spying, much more spying.
Yeah, 100%.
Real quick before we go, chat. Do you guys do a lot of the Amazon and the Echo and even the whatever, any of the personal assistants, even Siri? Do you use Siri a lot? Because a lot of those assistants freak me out. All of it.
Sorry, I was just reading Eric D with a C's chat. I'm kind of says my daughter didn't want to share her location with me, so the government can know where you are, but not me. Guess who's paying for their cell phone next month?
That's a dare I say based way of handling it. Like, yes, you're paying the cell phone bill. That's just how it goes.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
I mean, look, and I do think, at some point you do need to be kind of based with your kids so that they understand consequences and they understand challenges. But I don't have any kids, so that's all just projection of what I think parenting is.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a lot harder than that.
I'm sure it is. The Islington girl says, poof, none of them. I turned Cortana off on my newer laptop because I don't want to be friends. Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, Cortana always tries. Like, who has ever used Cortana? That's the Windows thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just turned off Siri today because while I was reading that, it creeped me out. And then I was searching Bounding into Comics, and it says Siri's suggestion is, I was like, oh God, Siri is just listening to me when I say Bounding into Comics. And it's like, oh, he might go to that website. It's like, stop spying on me. Get out of my shit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. New Bomb Turk says, no Amazon products in my house. I do not have an Amazon account at all.
Wow. You're braver than the rest of us. I wish I could get that way.
I respect you, but Amazon's too convenient for me.
Yeah,
Maybe
I wish
I
I
am.
could get off Amazon and Walmart. They're so evil, but it's like, God damn it.
I mean, it's just too convenient.
It's so convenient. They've kind of won, and that's then. So I think Cinch Dildo just said that. That's how they get you is through convenience.
Eric K says Siri is always listening and your camera is always on. Ugh, I hate that.
Yep.
It's so uncomfortable.
That's how it is.
Well, I hate to leave you guys with that, but I gotta get going.
Enjoy being spied on by your government and the
know.
state-ran corporations.
I know, and they have this phone that I can't get rid of. I'm like obsessed. Like, where is it? Oh, there it is. And like it's my undoing. All right, well, that was a great show, my friend.
Yeah, sorry I was a little late, but it was real fun, really fun.
Always good to have you, my friend. Always good to have. And we have a possibility of 2 different guests. We're trying to hammer out scheduling, so we don't know who it's going to be. So we don't really want to announce it until we're sure that they're going to be here. So we're going to hold off on the guest announcement until we know. But you know them and you like them, so it'll be pretty cool. But that was terrific. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Eric K, Snorted Poopus Q Burr, the Islington Girl, the Wake Down, Darius Munchausen, New Bomb Turk, Mark D with a C. Did I say Sentient Dildo? Sentient Dildo, I guess. Godzillionaire, Anthroparian, Robert.
There were some new people here too earlier.
Munchausen.
Yeah, Foulball and Munchausen.
What did you say?
Oh no, a foul was it? It's something like Faulius Ballchausen or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, the Ginger Ninja is here. Ironcaster, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. Thank you guys so very much. This was a wonderful show. Thanks for hanging out. Next week, hopefully you guys will like the guests. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and this is definitely fun. I appreciate everybody showing up each week. The turnout is like, I feel like it's not just us, because this is like my highlighted show of the week, but you guys are starting to turn out and it's starting to be your show, so I appreciate it.
It's really fun. It's really cool. What was I going to say? Eric Tech. It's unrelated. Oh fuck! I forgot. My brain stopped working there for a second. Oh well, whatever I was going to say, not important. But you guys, now super. I started off by saying I got a comment on an old stream I did, an old Expanse stream, and I was like, it was like from 9 months ago. I'm like, let me see how I was doing back then, and I checked it out, and I said in the beginning, I said, hey guys, I'm up to 12, count them 12 subscribers. So hopefully we'll get the 13 by the end of the stream. And I was like, God damn, 12.
Came a long way, man. Congratulations, man. That's huge.
So I was like, damn, that's what it was. It's like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So,
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Peace.
Later. Peace. is Culture Crime Fighters. We are a Culture Crimes Task Force so powerful, so far-reaching, not even the most dastardly of villains can escape. Our goal is to identify and defeat all culture criminals wherever they lurk and destroy them. For too long have these cretins carried out their nefarious deeds, and we will sit for it no longer. Beware. You may commit your culture crimes, but if you do, justice will be served at the hands of the Culture Crime Fighters.
What are you?
I'm Vigilante Williamson.
You went full.
SJW.
Never go full.
SJW.
You don't buy that? Yeah.
President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy.
You guys are nuts. That's one of my pet peeves, and here you come along with a third pronunciation. Like, what are you doing? Actually, it's pronounced
Stupid bitch.
If you could just be like 25% less brave, that would be great. People were like, there's no way he fucked her. This pig, he didn't fuck this pig.
I think he probably did. I think he
Oh.
didn't give a fuck. Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's just your opinion. It's in England, they say
Honorable cunt.
and in America, we say Amber Heard, and that's where the confusion is.
See, I was going with the British way.
Turns out it's a little more nuanced than that.
And I mean, hey, we're in 2021. Any moderately attractive girl can do squats for a few months and put a camera up her ass and become and go viral. So
I don't know. I mean,
look at her lack of butt cheeks. It bothers me every time.
I spent all day yesterday on that video. I edited, I cut, I put sound effects and visuals. I'm tap dancing, I'm spinning plates. Although
Yes.
for the life of me, I can't grow it. It's got like 45 fucking views.
You know what I think it is now? Tease the algorithmic guys. Brightest Day is in the chat. His channel's growing because of those shorts. Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it is.
Man, this has been a fun ride. I thank everybody for being here the whole time. I mean, there's regulars, obviously, Snow the Poopist, the Islington Girl, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, Just Another Red Shirt. Not just another red shirt. He's the red shirt, the crew. I love you all, man.
You guys are the shit. Love you all. Man of War 665, Lord Thoth, Just Another Red Shirt, Darius Munchausen, 24/7 Fusion Media, Ascension Dildo, Mark D with a C, Snorter Poopus, Android Scanner, the Islington Girl, New Bomb Turk. Everybody, you guys are great. We'll see you all next time. Have a great night.
Peace.
Yeah, peace. I love peace.